Previously, in the dungeon of the Mad Mage, Ashes, on his way to the 6th floor with Ezrah and Matashtai, had been stopped by Artur Morlin. The Baron of Blood spoke at length about a rival he had struggled against, a vampire that he believed to be a cultist of Shar.
New title, that's canon. Write it down. Baron of Blood.
I've already said that multiple times.
No, this is the first time ever.
I don't think you have.
I said it in the last recap.
I'm 100% certain this has never been said before.
Wait, what?
No, hold up.
You've never said Baron of Blood
Session
before.
15 recap, right here, going all the way down. Where are we at? Blah, 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 blah.
I've never heard Baron of Blood
here we go.
before.
Meanwhile, after the altercation with Halaster Silvermane, the rest of the party headed down into the first level of the dungeon, intent on making it back to the 6th, but they didn't make it far. Awaiting them in the Forest of Pillars was Artur Morlin, the mysterious Baron of Blood. Fuck y'all!
I think you skipped over that. That was...
Yeah, I think you just forgot to read that.
Jay, roll back the video, please.
You're bullshit. Alright. Continuing onwards. Apologies. A vampire that he believed to be Zalara's sister. The Moonblade, though reticent, corroborated the likelihood of the scenario, and the group found themselves a name to a once nameless potential enemy. Caresta. Artur proposed an alliance, sharing information with the party about what he knew of his rival, but there was still a lack of trust, and the party was still unsure as to whether the suave bloodsucker had Waterdeep's best interests in mind. But they swallowed at least most of their doubts after Artur began to quote the words of Laeral Silverhand from the ceremony where they had been proclaimed Wardens of the High Road, heavily insinuating that Artur was a masked Lord of Waterdeep. Still apprehensive, Ashes accepted an uneasy alliance with the vampire, and the Waterdeep Three headed on their way. On their journey through the 2nd level of the dungeon, they met the Green Choir, another adventuring group coming up from the 3rd level. The Green Choir had news that the Legion was growing more strict with its protocols, and this caused the group to be curious. So, the party questioned the Legion as they traveled through its territory and found that the Sargoth River was becoming more dangerous, with undead rising from it and large swarms of quippers roaming its currents. There was some assumption that this must be because of the Sargoth Coven, but the party was of little mind to deal with that issue at the moment, and they were undeterred by the dangerous waters. They set sail for the 5th level, but the river had indeed grown more dangerous, and while they made the journey successfully, it wasn't without issue. Ezrah and Matashtai both were injured, and the experience proved quite exhausting for the sorcerer. Eventually, though, the Waterdeep Three regrouped with Bones and learned of the attack on the Skulltakers. With what both groups had suffered that morning, the party decided to spend the day in the heart of the mountain, recovering and assisting the Skulltakers with some fortification and planning. Their efforts were mostly fruitful, and by the end of the day, the party had assisted the Skulltakers in resetting traps, creating new ones, planning out barricades, and preparing for both physical and mental trauma. On the morrow, the 18th of Hammer, the party made ready to return to the 7th level, the land of the Stone Men. They took risk with them, hoping that their passage would be undetected and they might finally succeed in returning the Bullywug to his home. But they were still unsure of where exactly the way forward was. So, while traveling to the level, they devised a plan. Bones, with his invisibility, would explore stealthily without much fear, except when it came to creatures that might smell him. Matashtai, with his new staff of etherealness, could explore areas that mundane creatures inhabited without much risk. So, Matashtai would explore north towards where the cave bears lived, and Bones would explore south, hopefully away from any potential threats. Between the two of them, they would find the way forward and then return to lead the party safely through the land of the Stone Men. Their exploration has been uneventful thus far. Meanwhile, back at the tunnel leading up to the 6th floor where the rest of the party awaits, Zalara has spun for ashes the tale of her and her sister. The Crown Wars, her death and dedication to Selûne, the end of the hostilities, and her sister's slow fall from grace. After the moment the two shared, they seemed more resolved than ever to assist one another. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.